So I'm going to go to Brandon to begin with. Brandon, you picked up the win tonight, which was important, but it was another very sloppy display from Arsenal.
Yeah, certainly was, Tel. Don't nobody come at me with this. I'll just be happy we won. Bullshit. Yeah, I don't like performances like that, Tel. You know, we just absolutely dropped a stinker against Bournemouth. And then we come into this game tonight against Shakhtar, who, by the way, in their opening two fixtures in the Champions League, have had one shot on target, which was a missed penalty, or a saved penalty, should I say. Doesn't really cause too many problems. And the two they played was Atalanta, who slapped them 3-0, and Bologna, right, who, let's be real, isn't really going to be a threat in competition, right? We come off the back of the Bournemouth game. I expect to see a performance tonight, especially when the majority of them players that play tonight are going to be playing on Sunday against Liverpool, right? Aside from Gabriel Jesus and aside from Saliba because he's suspended, all of them players will feature at Liverpool. And they all stunk tonight. Absolutely stunk tonight. Yeah? Okay, we won the game. Whoopee-doo, right? But I've been saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. We can't continue to play like this and keep getting away with results because it's not going to happen, Tel. It's not going to happen, mate. If we play like that against Liverpool, we will get bent over. Shakhtar caused us all sorts of problems in that second half. Yeah, and if they actually had somebody who could finish, we probably wouldn't be coming away with a win tonight. Trossard was disgustingly poor again. You know, everybody on that pitch was disgustingly poor. And again, I'm going to question the manager in a way because apparently Martinelli couldn't play the full game against Bournemouth because he was injured on international duty and he wasn't fully fit. But he's fully fit to play tonight for 90 minutes nearly, right? You're taking off Gabriel Jesus, which is fine. You know, he's missed a bundle of chances because that's what Gabriel Jesus does, in order to bring on another player who's going to miss a bundle of chances in Sterling. So my question is if you're bringing off players in order to save them for the big game on Sunday, why take off Gabriel Jesus? Why not take off Havertz or Trossard, one of them players that's actually going to feature? Why not actually keep Gabriel Jesus on the pitch? Yeah, he's missed a bundle of chances, but you need to try and build this guy's confidence. He hasn't scored in 20-odd games. I don't understand where we're going at the moment, Tel. I really don't. And to be honest with you, coming off the back of the Aston Villa away win, the Tottenham away win, you know, the performance that we see against Man City with 10 men, I was actually quite excited about what this Arsenal team was showing me. But now I'm looking at the last two games, today's game and Bournemouth, and it's kind of like we've reverted back to the same kind of mistakes that we was making last season and the season before that ended up costing us in the long run. And I'm not happy about it, bro. I've got to be completely...
I understand you're not happy with it. My question to you is this. I don't think there's anything you've said about the last two performances that's wrong. Do you see this continuing? Or do you believe that this Arsenal team is going to improve its levels and get back into better performances, better form, and start winning games more convincingly?
At this moment in time, I don't see how, because obviously we're missing Bukayo Saka. He probably will be back for Liverpool. And look, he is a big miss. He is a big miss, 100%. Odegaard is a big miss, right? But after 5 years and £700 million spent, I wouldn't expect everything to fall apart when Arsenal are missing two key players. I know they're key players, and if you know, every squad has their best players, and if they're missing, you're going to see some sort of drop in level. But this is like from here all the way back down to here again, Tel. And I look at us tonight and the way that we defended tonight in certain moments of that game, and that's with William Saliba. I am really not looking forward to seeing what Arsenal defend like against Liverpool without him. I really am. Because, again, we're looking at Calafiori coming off that pitch, and it looks like he might be injured now. So I don't know what we're going to do in that back line. I really don't. But this is terrible, Tel, because I've been saying it in the transfer window. When the transfer window finished, we left ourselves short. We've left ourselves with a 22-man squad when we had a 25-man squad last season. Everybody's talking about quality over quantity. Well, look at the injuries we got. It was always going to happen. You know, you can't continue to just get away with not getting injuries. So you've got to have players with the right quality and the right amount of quantity as well to come in. But we're looking at, for example, Ethan Nwaneri. He was supposedly the guy that we was going to look to as the replacement if we needed to figure out something while Odegaard was out injured. But again, tonight, I would say we're pretty comfortable in the game, and Arteta doesn't even bring him on. I just think, what is going on here? He's not.
I hear, I hear where you're coming from there. I want to throw your point out to the rest of some other people on the panel. Trimless, I don't think any Arsenal fan is going to come on here and say they were impressed with tonight. But do you agree with Brandon that you can't see how Arteta and the team turns this form around? Like, this looks like it's now set for the rest of the season at this level.
No, I still think it's a bit too early. It's a bit reactionary. As you said, Brandon, after the Man City game, you said he was like, more like full of confidence in terms of how he's going to play after that. I get that. Obviously, last couple of games not reflected what we've been on, but I do have to take in consideration we went down to 10 men. Even today was not pretty at all. It was a boring watch, very slow, very passive. We got major players out. We're still getting results. We're still grinding results. We still haven't conceded a goal in the Champions League. I just think it's a bit too early for us to be moving this negative. Like, we've got key players missing. We've got the 3 points today. It's not too deep. Like, we don't need to start stressing already. I'm seeing people questioning Arteta already again. Like, let's just let a bit more of the season marinate before we just jump in the boat as things could go down. Because if we could go into that Liverpool game, win 2-1, 1-0, whatever, and then it's just a whole flip script of we can do this, So I think we just need to be relaxed a bit and just, man, it's still too early for me. It's still too early.
I want to rebuttal a little bit on that, because again, you're saying about key players missing. What I'm trying to say is, after 5 years and the amount of money that we spent as well, do you not think that we should be better equipped to be able to cope with injuries to key players? And I'm just looking at
when those players get to that stage, though, like Saka and Odegaard, it's kind of hard for you to even have something to replicate something as close. We've tried. The money spent, we've seen it coming in. We've had to let players go because they're complaining about game time. So I hear what you're saying about the money spent and we should have the depth. But at the same time, when you have players of that caliber, the depth doesn't always come into question. It's just more about how can you adapt. And we're seeing Arteta slightly adapt. Like, except for the Bournemouth game, he's been adapting. So I don't know. Like, we're just being a bit too rushed. I can't lie.
Gal, how do you see this? What Brandon has said, I think on the performances, I think everybody agrees with. The last 2 games have been nowhere near the standard that you want. But Brandon, there are a lot of Arsenal fans in the chat. There's a lot of Arsenal fans online who don't see this turning around. They can't see where the improvements come from. They can't see how Arsenal get back to higher levels of performances and winning more comfortably. Do you agree with that take from some of your fellow Arsenal fans?
Calm down, guys. Calm down. I get it. You're worried about the upcoming games. You're worried about the performance today. But with heavy rotation, midweek, having looking at the team that we put out there right now, I don't expect similar performances midweek versus in the weekend versus Liverpool. I don't expect similar performances to continue. Today, I seen some positives actually, instead of all the negatives that everyone's mentioning. There are a lot of negatives. We can talk about Gabriel Jesus having, 23 games where he hasn't scored for Arsenal. The guy can't buy a goal. He needed the sympathy penalty, not Leandro Trossard. I'm surprised Leandro Trossard took the penalty. I would have thought that Havertz would have taken the penalty. We were not looking good. We weren't stringing good passes together. We did not look positive. The intensity was not there. And yes, there's a lot of negatives coming off the back of this game. Positive is we won the game. I know it's a 1-0. It's Shakhtar Donetsk. Put some respect on Shakhtar Donetsk. They beat Real Madrid recently. Am I wrong? Right? So let's stop this.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Real Madrid recently. They beat Real Madrid recently in the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. So
when did they beat me? When did they beat us?
I think hang on. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's like hang on. I think it was 3 or 4 seasons ago they beat you home and away. I think I heard the commentators say that.
So I'm just one second. Let me finish. It was a rotten performance, but there was some shining lights in there. For example, Thomas Partey, showing that he was really quality today. He even had a shift at right back, and he was putting in a good shift. Martinelli and Calafiori, before he came off, were cooking on that left-hand side. It's just we couldn't finish our dinner. How many times did they produce some good chances from that left-hand side, and we just couldn't finish our dinner? It was Havertz had a chance. It was Trossard had a chance. Even Gabriel Jesus headed it across the box. The defender got it away. It is what it is. At the end of the day, I thought we were going to win this game 3-4-0. Winning 1-0 is extremely underwhelming, but I'm not sitting here coming to grand conclusions that our team is terrible and this is a problem and that is a problem. Personally,
bro, what about today? Today.
You literally won because of an
I just said the performance was not great.
Forget overall and the big picture will
No,
come
they
back
won because of an
today,
own
bro.
goal. They literally
Hold
won because of an
on,
own goal.
Sam, hold
No,
on.
but Martinelli has to
Guys,
take the shot, right?
Can I ask? I want to ask every Arsenal. Hold on, guys. I want to ask every Arsenal fan.
We aren't clinical. I know that.
Hold on. I'm going to ask a question. Is it acceptable for one of the best teams in the Premier League, one of the best teams in the world that want to win the title, to score one goal and concede the majority of the play for 45 minutes at home ground against a dog shit team like Shakhtar, a Sunday League team, Shakhtar Donetsk, that had one shot on target for 2 games? Why don't you call it as it is, bro? You were on top in the first half. You scored an own goal. You conceded position at home to Shakhtar Donetsk, Igal. This is worrying. And don't tell me rotation or not rotation, guys. Guys, this is Arsenal Football Club. Under this manager who showed us how brilliant he was for 18 games last season, at the end of last season. You guys used to score the first and go for the second, bro. Dominate the games. You made Brighton look mediocre at their home ground. You remember the 3-0? Where did the Arsenal team go, bro? What happened to this guy,
missing,
bro? But again, I will accept it against the Man City. I might accept it against the Brighton, right?
No, I get
I will not. At Shakhtar Donetsk, guys, none of us know any name. The days of Shakhtar Donetsk when they have players that, guys, to be honest with you, I want Arsenal to win the league. The way you guys play, the way you caved in the second half, and everyone starting again. This freaking hoofball. What was the excuse today? 10 players? There was no 10 players, legal today. There was 11 men. Why did you do the hoofball again?
I blame the 4-4-2, man.
I blame the
okay,
formation.
now we're talking. Brilliant, my guy. I don't know your name. I'm sorry. Apologies. Now you're talking. I blame. Now you're starting. Now because you were so positive.
No, but Mo,
talk about it then.
Mo, I think what Arteta was doing this game, he was experimenting and trying to figure out other ways to play with this team. And guess what? When you're experimenting in the middle of the season, there's going to be moments where it doesn't look good. Some of the best teams in Europe, they take these games against smaller teams to use as an opportunity to experiment. We're not going to experiment versus Liverpool. We're not going to experiment versus Chelsea. We're not going to experiment versus Newcastle away. This was probably one of our only opportunities where we can put a different type of lineup out there, a different type of formation, different type of play, and try to see if we can implement it. And it work.
So why is he using Gabriel Jesus? You don't even.
It didn't work.
So why are you using
Gabriel Jesus was poor.
I swear to God, Sam, you're asking. Everyone is asking. Forget the personnel, guys. Wallah al-Azim, it doesn't matter the personnel that play, guys. Forget that. Igal, you know what I'm talking about. Arsenal now, in your 4th season or 5th season against this manager, it doesn't matter who steps on the pitch. At the Emirates, Igal, you need to stamp your authority. You need to be the team on top. No, Igal, you were going to draw this game at the Emirates at the end, Igal. The ball hit the guy's shoulder, Igal.
It didn't happen.
The ball hit the guy's shoulder, Igal.
Nah,
You need to
his hand
speak
moved
about the
towards the
plan,
ball.
guys. Guys, you need to be honest here.
Go on,
Bro, one
Brother,
second.
go on.
You're calling me dishonest. If you're saying that, fair enough.
No, I didn't mean it. You know that. I didn't mean
I'm
that.
not buying into.
I didn't mean that, Igal. I'm sorry.
One second.
Apologies. Hold on. Apologies. I didn't mean it this way, Igal. No,
I'm just saying, I don't
sorry.
generally buy into the narrative that we need to come to grand conclusions after every game, because I'm looking at the whole season as a whole. I'm looking at having players out of form coming into this team. I'm looking at us having numerous injuries, coming off a game where we just looked shaky in the league because we were playing down to 10 men. I was looking for a better performance. We didn't get that performance. I'm not sitting here saying it's amazing. Nobody's accepting this. I'm simply saying we don't need to jump to grand conclusions and say this is all shit.
When I just guys, before we go on, I just want to apologize. I didn't mean to call you this Igalo.
No, of
you
course,
know
of
me.
course, of course. We know.
Guys, you know Igalo.
Okay,
Brandon,
but
go ahead.